Okay. Well, anyhow, I had to start this video over because I didn't hit record. It's pretty bad. But anyhow, that happens from time to time. Actually, I'm using my older phone because my other one's actually charging. So anyhow, I did this video I tried to do this video that talked about Tacoma and the people in Tacoma and the hospitality here. And, let me first say when I grew up, I was raised in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I was used to people just waving at you, random strangers waving hi. When we moved out to the country, to because my mom has farmland, excuse me, people would drive down the road and just wave hi, stick their arm out the window and wave. It was just a very different experience than other places I've lived outside of that. I thought it was normal. I would go to stores in Bowling Green in the city, and same thing. And people would just randomly stop and ask my mom for opinions on things, or they would just talk. And so I thought that was and it was different people. Didn't matter what race they are, just different people. And they would do that, and it was just pretty common. Or you'd see guys, especially men, they would tip. It's funny because, a lot of black dudes talk about when you see another black dude, you kind of do the acknowledgement, right? Well, where I grew up, yeah, you saw that. But also, every now and again, older white men would kind of do the other way. Or they would have their hat and they would, because some guy, it's a farming community. So a lot of guys would have just hats on. And so that's kind of what they would do. And they would acknowledge every guy that they saw that way. I thought it was common, to be honest with you. Until I moved to Indianapolis as an adult. When I moved there, nope. I mean, people were friendly enough, I guess, but they didn't go out of their way to say hi to you or anything like that, typically. People were nice, don't get me wrong, but you didn't have people just saying hi and all that type of stuff. And when I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico, same thing. And that was not too long ago that we lived in Albuquerque, but same thing. People were friendly, neighbors were friendly, and you would have people that would talk to you, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like the Southern hospitality type thing, right? And it's still alive today because when we went back to Kentucky over the summer, we went to Nashville and people would talk your head off. I mean, we left a hotel in Nashville and this guy kept staring at my shirt because I forget what shirt I had. It was a team. And he sat there, he came out of the hotel staring at my shirt and, kind of looking away. And then he was asking me about the team. And I said, yeah, And so we sat there and had like a 20-minute conversation. And then his group of people came out, they got into a van. And his wife was like, are you coming or not? Because he was sitting there just talking to me the whole time. Just standing there talking the whole time. It's still that way there. When I moved to Seattle, nope. I mean, you didn't get anybody acknowledge you hardly at all. No one would just make small talk to you. And in fact, even neighbors, as long as they didn't make eye contact with you, they wouldn't say anything. So a lot of times people will have their head down, but if eye contact was made, then they have to acknowledge you, typically. But most people just kind of kept to themselves and didn't really want to say much of anything, right? Tacoma was different. When we lived in Seattle, we had looked at Tacoma as a possibility of a place that we wanted to live in, only because it was a lot more affordable. And we thought it was a really cool place. Didn't know if we wanted to always be right into Seattle, but we still wanted a bit of a city lifestyle. But we didn't know if we wanted to be in all the clusters. Excuse me. So we went on Mother's Day. We parked our car, and as we're walking across one of the streets, 2 blocks away, there was a guy and his girlfriend, and he yelled, "Happy Mother's Day." He waved and yelled, "Happy Mother's Day" to Noelle. And she was like, huh? Well, she was like, "Thank you," and it was just like, really? And so then we were going down another street, and, there's a woman that said, "Happy Mother's Day." We then go into Freight House Square. And one of the people passing by was looking at something, and then just kind of just said, "Oh, Happy Mother's Day." This is all in one, like literally in the span of like, I don't know, an hour. So we go to the end of Freight House Square, and at the end, there's this giant wooden thing, a wooden Bigfoot. And the girls like taking their pictures by it, and there's these little cutout things, and they like to go there and do all that stuff. And as we were coming back out of there, going back up, there was a woman that had a store, a shop, and she was closing up, and she said, "Hey, come here for a second." So we all go in, and I was actually taking some video of Freight House Square. So I turned it off at that point. We go in, and she gave the kids candy and balloons and told Noelle Happy Mother's Day. So that gave us a massive impression of the city. We then, so I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, it's very down to earth. Well, when we got the house, I was outside doing some yard work, and we have a compost bin, a compost can, because the city takes the compost. And I was throwing stuff in it, and the lady was walking by with her daughter in a stroller. And so as she's going by, I'm throwing stuff in there, and stuff is flopping out, and I'm like, ooh, because I didn't realize I didn't know someone was coming. And so she stopped and she said, "Hello, hi, good morning." And I said, "Good morning." And she continues on down the thing. I'm like, One day, because I always watch the kids. I stand, and because I work from home, I have a lot of flexibility in terms of when I can take off, when I can take a break, that type of thing. And so when they go to the bus in the morning, I make sure I get up and watch them get on the bus. It's important to me. And then when they get out of school, I have 2 alarms on 2 phones that lets me know when to basically go and get them, because otherwise I'll be all into what I'm doing and time will pass me. So I watch them when they come home. Well, one day a woman was jogging, and typically I would expect them to just cross the street. Right after they get close enough, they typically cross the street. That has always been the experience. This lady kept getting closer and closer and closer. Jogged by, I was like, "Hi," and continued going. Another woman was basically walking her kid, not walking her kid, sounds like she's walking a dog, but she was walking with her kid, and a younger kid, and she walked by, she waved. So I was like, wow, these aren't people who live like right next to me. It's not like they've seen me before, but she was very friendly. And other times I have walked to take the kids to the bus stop, and so I stop right there at the thing, and I've had cars just stop. One time this guy in a big gnarly pickup truck, he stopped way before the thing, and I'm waiting because I'm like, I don't want to step out there and get hit. But he was like, "Oh, no, go ahead. I was like, wow. So I've gone ahead and walked across the street. I'm not saying that this is not common in other places, but in the last few places I lived at, this has never been the case. People were just not as super friendly, right? I'm not saying everyone here is, but there's a lot of friendly people in Tacoma. It's a completely different thing in terms of Seattle. You know what I mean? Not saying that Seattle is rude and nasty, but you just don't have people that just openly try to talk to you. In fact, when we went to Nashville, and I may have said this, I can't remember. If I did, forgive me. But the other one didn't record. But when we were in Nashville just this past summer, the not only did the guy in the hotel talk to me, but the driver that was taking us to the airport talked to us the entire time. The entire time. And we're not used to that because we have drivers when we go to the airport in Seattle and they never say nothing. They ask you like what airport you're going to and that type of thing. And they put your luggage in the thing, but they never really talk to you, ever. So it's just shocking. This one time I was taking the girls taking them home from the bus stop. And as I was coming back, this was close to Christmas. So this was just, last month. And This woman, older lady, because once the school bus stops, obviously it backs up traffic. This older lady saw us walking, and she slowed down her car, and there's like maybe 2 or 3 cars behind her. And she says, "Hey, come in for a sec." She tooted her horn to get my attention. She said, "Come here." I'm a little bit leery because obviously I have, Zeta with me. So I'm like, I don't know. So I go over there, and she had several bags in her car, like little bitty knick-knack bags. So I guess she was kind of like a little Santa. But she had all of these little ornaments in there. She was an older lady. She had all these little ornaments and different things in bags and Santa Clauses and different things. And she says, "Hey, would you like a bag? I really and truly want to give you this." And I said, well, okay. Like, I didn't really know what was in the bag because you can't really tell, but you can look and see a little bit of it. And I could tell that there was ornaments, and some of the other bags I could see was ornaments. And so I'm like, okay. She's like, it's Christmas stuff. And, she's like, I like giving these out. So I'm like, all right, fine. And so, I take it, and then she waves at the girls, and then she goes off. I see her slow down again when she saw another woman walking with her kid, and same thing. And let me not forget, too, we were in downtown Tacoma, and you guys saw this on camera, where we were walking close to Opera Alley, and these ladies had like a little wagon, one of those little red wagons, full of like purses that have like little makeup kits and first aid kits and different things in it. And they said, "Hey, would you guys like some purses?" Right? Talking to Noelle and the girls, saying, "Hey, would you like purses?" And what they do is they hand them out to women. Now, some of these are women who may be homeless or whatnot, but some of them not. Like, they're like, we hand them out, I forget what group they're with, but they hand them out to any woman that they see or any girl that they see. And they say, there's things in there. If you don't want the purse, you can, give it back to us or throw it away or donate it or whatever you want to do. But there's things in there that you may want. There's, feminine products in there. There's Band-Aids in there. There's lipstick in there. And they're like, definitely do so, And they even stopped. There was a woman in a business suit. Same thing. They were like, here. So to me, it's just more of it's like a big city, but it's also like a small town, and people are just very, very friendly. They're always wanting to help one another, it seems. Now, there are some people that don't, obviously, but you see a lot of, excuse me, you see a lot of people here, and it reminds me a lot of my hometown. It reminds me again of how people just basically kind of greet you. Same thing. When I was in Indianapolis, I didn't really get a whole lot of, like the bruh acknowledgement. Here I do. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get that in Seattle, but I get it here. And same thing with guys. I've been at like this country, because we have to get chicken feed. And I have farmers that will say, hey, or hi, or what have you. So it's a completely different world here, where people tend to go out of their way to say hi, and that is one of the things that I really love about Tacoma. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I will see you. Take care.